Hi swimmers! Today in this video, I'm talking about supplements. Now, these are some key things that you really need to think forward to for your big upcoming swims. And again, practice this in long swims before the big day. Now, some of them you may not need and you may not ever need, but it's really important, like our feeds, to take backup on your boat or kayak because you just never know when you're going to need them. For example, I've had swimmers who have never had cramps ever in their life, get debilitated with cramps and have to stop swims. So if you have cramp fix, for example, or pickle juice on there, just in case, then you've got it and you might be able to get a little bit further into your swim and finish than if you don't have it. So number one, even if you never get seasick, think about if you need to travel on the boat for an hour to your starting position or coming home afterwards, taking an anti-nausea or antiemetic tablet is really useful. So this could be a simple travel calm, quells, some things like that to make you feel less nauseous, but you can also get other supplements prescribed from your doctor from a script to stop you actually physically vomiting. So that can be some names like ondansetron or Zofran, and they can be in little wafers that you put on your tongue and they dissolve. So have that before you start the swim, about an hour before, and then you can have it typically, depending on what you're using and the dose, around every 6 to 8 hours, depending how long it lasts on you and how you're feeling. Another one to consider is caffeine. Now, caffeine, whether you are a regular coffee drinker or a caffeine intaker, may depend how much we use during your swim, but from a sports performance perspective, having between 1 to 4 milligrams of caffeine per kilo of body weight before you start and then regularly during, say, every 4 to 8 hours. Again, this will depend how tolerant you are of it, how sensitive, and how quickly it clears through your bloodstream, so we can practice this in training. But you can do this by taking some pure caffeine tablets like NoDoz or Pro Plus, or you have a caffeinated gel, or Panadol Extra also contains caffeine, so you can get your pain relief and your caffeine all in one, so you'll be feeling brilliant after that. Other things, there may be, you might want to add some instant coffee to a Milo or a Sustagen or an Ensure feed, something like that, or have it in gels regularly throughout your swim. So if you have smaller doses, you can kind of have it every hour, 2 hours, but larger doses, 100, 200 milligrams, I'll typically do it every 4 to 6 hours with swimmers, depending how their habitual caffeine intake and how sensitive they are, because it can cause gut irritation in some swimmers, but for most it's fine. Another thing, and some other things that we might explore in our time together working, is antihistamines. So that would be particularly for jellyfish stings, nitrates and beetroot juice shots. So some of you will be already doing this with me and some may not, but nitrates work by dilating your blood vessels, so enhancing your blood flow. So this can be good for master athletes and for other athletes who may be struggling with high blood pressure. Other things to think about, like I mentioned before with the cramp fix, preparing for any situations that could arise. So gastro stop, diuretics, having them on the boat just in case, having a cramp fix or pickle juice. Doesn't taste nice, but it's also worth it. So you can get these in ready-made products, or you can literally buy a jar of pickles and have that on the boat ready to swirl in your mouth and spit out. That will then shock your nerves, so calm down and relax a little bit, and therefore stop the cramping for a little while. So save this, have a think about that, and start implementing this into your training, and we can refine it up until you swim.